right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Had a little bit of surprises over the overnight here with this Aussie cash rate. Really shocked after they paused and then picked up again. The U.S. said that this is one thing that they don't want to do. And then interesting enough, you have some articles like this, right? We're gonna drive them towards recession, right? It's like, yeah, they shouldn't have raised, and I'm not, I think again, I think the market sentiment, I'm kind of surprised by it. Yeah. So again, nice little again read there. And again, low talking about this one. Some further tightening may be required to meet that time frame. The board has strong consensus to hike rates. So yeah, what's interesting too, the objective is to turn inflation to the 2 to 3% range within a reasonable time frame, right? It's like, 2 to 3%. We keep hearing two, but I think it's good that he brought up the three. If we can get inflation to three by 2 years, it could be a good outcome. I guess it depends on what they're looking at here. But here you go. Getting inflation down much faster would cost too many jobs. So it looks like they're going to be doing the foot on the brake. I don't know if you guys have ever driven with anybody that does this. They either like got their foot down to the floor or they're on the brake, right? They're either on gas or brake the entire time. There's no like intermediary between the two. Kind of sounds like, stop. We're not going to mess with this, right? Kind of sounds like that's what Low is doing here. Kind of on again, off again, on again, off again. We don't want to be too fast, but instead of just letting it work, I mean, everybody knows that it does take some time, to kind of roll through. It looks like they're going to be using a different method than many other people out there. So the European data came in as exactly as expected. A little bit softer on one, a little bit higher on the other. Again, looking at that core rate on a yearly basis, there were some articles out earlier talking about how, again, the euro may use, basically unexpected. It's funny. Saw a couple articles saying, hey, listen, it went down. That means we could have softer hikes in there. But then this one says the core inflation shows unexpected in April, which is, again, this one right here, right? So is it going the right direction? Yes. Is the CPI one there? Yeah, this is the bigger one. So we'll see. Again, Jolts, I think, is going to be a big, kind of a big deal today. Just with everything we've seen in the overnight. And because of it, I mean, you can see right now, dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength. Right now, a little bit of Aussie strength, but you can see the dollar's rolling back in the U.S. session. And again, they just did raise interest rates to a surprise, so it's not surprising that the Aussie is up right now. Euro pound 12 a little bit, and then you see pound yen. It's like, how is pound yen almost the smallest thing on the board, right? Percentage wise, right? I mean, this is 25%. This is about that, right? It's because today we're not getting as much movement out of the pound, and we're not getting a lot of movement out of the yen. But we are seeing a little bit of pound weakness, and that's why 103 is the big one on the board right now with the pound dollar. So yeah, look at this. If the Fed raises rates, it will be positive for the currency. Okay. Pretty much everybody at this point, though, is convinced. I mean, again, is it good? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's on a consensus that that is exactly what's going to happen. That they are raising the 5.25. I don't think there's any question about that. Actually, at this point, I think there would be more of a question if they didn't raise. There's actually somebody talking this morning. I don't know who the person was, but I heard it dropping the boys off at school today. And they were mentioning if the Fed does not raise, right, then the big question is going to be, what do we not know about the banking system, right? I mean, Jamie Dimon saying, hey, now that, First National is gone, we've stabilized the banking system now, right? If they don't raise it, there's no reason why, based off any of the data we've seen, not to do it. So the question is, if they don't raise it, a lot of people are going to be scratching their heads saying, okay, what do we not know now, right? Why are you not doing it? What are you not telling us? So it kind of seems like it's a foregone conclusion that they are going to raise it, that there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, that that's what's going to happen. Now, one of the interesting kind of byproducts of this, and this is some of the data that came in yesterday. It's considered lower data, so it doesn't necessarily affect things. But I'm wondering if it's going to be one of the linchpins coming out, falling out in the future, is talking about housing and existing inventories and things. Article I saw today were basically saying that the inventory is the biggest problem right now, that it's down 20%, right? Back to pre-pandemic levels of things. And the reason why people are not The reason why people are not putting their homes up for sale right now is because they feel like they're trapped because the interest rates are so high right now. But yet we know this is going further. So we also mentioned real estate would be the interesting piece in here. But again, inventories are low. It's great for home builders because they're building new things. But pendings are coming down and people are not moving and people are feeling trapped because the interest rates are there. So they're bringing that up. But now the inventories are down, so home prices are rising, which goes back to inflation of, again, is the home really worth that, or is it just because the supply is low right now? Is it increasing the overall kind of opinion of what home values are? So there's another component to that coming in this as well. Especially if we push more towards a recession with higher prices, it's getting like Canada is, right? We just, a townhouse for like 1.2 million, right? I don't know, maybe where you live that's normal. Where I live, that's not normal. Townhouses are definitely not starting at 1.2, million. Yeah, not there yet. So, yeah, so that's what we got coming in the next little bit. And again, the next 24 hours are pretty much going to be crazy, right? Jolt is going to be a big one. We've talked about how unemployment is going to be not unemployment. The jobs market is such a big deal. And then on top of that, we'll get some New Zealand data tonight, which again, showing employment change good. It's funny, the employment change is good on a quarterly basis, but the unemployment rate is going up slightly, which again, that's not bad. Having the unemployment rate go up is not a horrible thing. And then we'll get some talks. And then all of a sudden tomorrow, bam, non-farm employment change, again, expected to be small. ISM services, again, will this be a surprise coming below 50 showing contraction? I don't think so. I think we should be good. And then everybody's going to be looking at this FOMC statement. It's not so much this. I think everybody believes this is in. It's this. The FOMC statement and the press conference is what people are going to be looking at. Those will be the big things that people look at and say, okay, are we in a good spot? Are we not in a good spot? Here, Bud's giving this real quick. You're going to, hold on one sec. He's going to make a gigantic mess here. Here, let's do this. All right. And let's do this. Sorry, guys. One sec. I have to help him real quick with something. Nope, you don't need to light that on fire. There we go. There we go. Now it's not going to get frazzled everywhere. All right, there. It's not going to frazzle now. Sorry, he had I was fixing lacrosse goals, so I have some like bungee cord or whatever. But when you cut it, obviously there's the rubber inside of it. The outside frays and it gets like all over the place, and I don't want him to put it in his mouth. So I was trying to cut the end off and just fix it so he cannot fray it and get it all over the place. But anyway, that's what we're dealing with. And again, seeing all this dollar strength come in today. I'll tell you right now, this could be one of those scenarios where we see the interest rate rise and it actually drops to the downside. Why? You would say, hey, wait, this is a strong thing. You're right, it is strong, but the market's already preparing for it. The market's already moving dollar strength right now. No, we cannot have scissors. And affirming this, all they got to do is say one dovish statement here about, hey, listen, we did our 5.25, but this is it. We're going to pause now. And that's where everybody all of a sudden it's like, that's it. It's over. They're cutting interest rates, right? That's where the opposite effect comes in. So right now on the VIX, we have a little bit elevated VIX, kind of holding firm in the overnight. We're not really doing too much. And all the indices are down. That's why I think a lot of this is already factoring in the interest rate rise tomorrow. And what the effects of that are. No, I don't want you to lose that either. Please give that to me. So I'm not necessarily surprised by what we're seeing. Okay. The dollar, yeah, it's continuing to go higher. Again, you can see that yesterday morning we were talking about, again, driving through and we pushed up and we tagged 102 again. And then we kind of did a base. We pulled back and used it and went higher up again. And now we're driving to levels. It's like, wait, we haven't seen this 102 level, 102.30 level for a little bit of time here, right? A little bit of time. We finally broken through. It's been back to the beginning of April, right? April 11th, my sister's birthday. As we push forward. So question is 103 now going to be, let's pull these off, right? This is past the 78. We can pull that. We can run this from, this is an easy low to high here, right? Low to high up. Will we see this continue to go even higher? Will we start pushing? And again, there's kind of the peak of this, right? Will we see levels up at 275? Potentially, right? Potentially. So we got some room to run, but with it surging the day before, I'm more likely to look for this to turn and roll back to the downside. Overall, indices where they're at right now. Again, they're all in the red. Just, Russell's the worst. And again, we knew that the Russell, anything that has to do with interest rate rising, that's where Russell is going to have issues. And you can see, NQ is not far. It's only down 0.16. You can see the Tesla is up pretty decent. Apple is teetering around flat right now. That could easily flip. right? But something like the Russell that is much more interest rate sensitive, um, you know, that's where the issue is going to be. All right. Indices all in the red. Again, NQ could potentially roll. Um, Commodities. Oil down. There, I saw something last night talking about this one. Oil down 2.5%, almost $2 down. And a lot of this is coming from China. It's funny. It used to be like it's U.S. demand that drives everything. Now talking about some questioning the China demand coming through. It's starting to drop it back down to that lower mark, that 73 mark. So again, we're way from 80. We're clearing that. The question is, with a continued drop like this, if we get some bad data talking about recessions and things like that, will I continue to drive this? What are you eating? No, no, don't mess that up. No, no, no. Stop. No. There. He's eating the receipt. Like I don't know why he's eating the receipt. Will we get back down to the 70 level? Could be good. Natural gas down 3.84%. It's not the 7% that it can go, but it's back down to 222. And again, seasonally, I think if we start getting rid of this colder weather, and I'll tell you right now, it's 50 degrees outside now. Normally, this time we're starting to get some days where it's getting really really hot, and people are using air conditioners. Right now, there's really no point. At this point, people are more refusing just to again turn the heater on when it's at 50 degrees. Um, Gold down at 1987 again. Silver 24 and a half. It's surging. It surged up a little bit, but it's down 1% today. You can see that gold is up 0.28. Again, I think this is a lot of pre-positioning as well, but I think the fight is still on. We will see these to continue to go lower. And again, the 1% I think makes a lot of sense. The 1987 being up a little bit at 1987, not super concerned about it. I think it doesn't. I don't think it belongs anywhere close to two. And again, I think 2 and 24. I think this 1980-ish mark, 87, 85-ish mark, and 24 is really where they're supposed to be right now. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar. So, Aussie dollar, we talked about a lot of basing in this area, trying to do something with it. It was the target from yesterday morning. Here's where we were. We mentioned, hey, listen, you know, here's the 9:30 mark. We said this is a pretty easy trade to get into. And then by the 10 o'clock frame, we'd already started to push away from it. You can see the target was 66.44. It came down and started the base in there, and it kind of hit it and formed back and forth. And interestingly enough, okay, so we had not talked about this because obviously none of this was printed. And in actuality, you would have missed the trade. You would have missed it by just a little bit. But there was the base at the bottom, right? There was the base at the bottom. Before the news came out, an hour beforehand, what did it do? It drove down like it knew what the date. What are you doing? What are you doing? It drove down like it knew exactly what was going to happen. And then magically, huge push to the top side. Whoops. It always helps when I click it at the bottom, right? That's a 70 pip move. It's a 67 pip daily ATR. So it immediately went up, and now we're starting to reverse backing it. I wouldn't be surprised if it does roll all the way back down again. And again, profit target would need to be sitting right there. Again, parabolic move, parabolic retracement. Reason why this one shot up, obviously the entire market had only factored in this, and this was a surprise to the upside. So I don't think once they paused, anybody assumed that they were going to start picking back up again. Not that quickly, not that quickly. Um, so again, nice big move, but magically, if you look at the technicals of it, it did drive it straight down before news, but it just missed the basing level. So it did take off. It did go a little bit higher, and again, we had mentioned this level where we had a few hits to it and it drove pretty deep in there again, and it actually hit it and then started the base in there. So it kind of told us it was going through. Once this was coming up for a long trade, this was more of a short than anything else. This zone, same thing. I mean, there was only that many sellers left in it after it hit here, right? So we knew that there wasn't much left there anyway. And again, it blew through, came up, and it did. Depending on how you drew this from wicks or bodies, you may or may not have gotten this one at the 61.8. But it just showed you it was really looking, it was really trying hard to find an area to stop, and it did. It kind of pushed up and pushed up and pushed up and then pushed down and then pushed up again. So it gave you many different options, many different attempts. I mean, you could have taken this and said, okay, well, there you go. I got something there that I can use, right? Right. And it did push all the way down. And then when it came back up again, that's kind of where it went. And right now, again, I do think it is going to continue to push lower. I think dollar strength continues to roll back into the market in anticipation for the interest rate rise tomorrow. So I would call this one back down. It is a little bit deep in there if you haven't already gotten into it. Not much you can do at that point. But yeah, so we can take this one. We'll just drag this one back. Actually, do we need it? It kind of broke it and then used it on a Harry Potter over here. It's not quite where its target would be. The target would be sitting Look, broke through, pierced through, so never gave us an entry, and then used it on the bottom side. What does it mean to move? Let's see. I only need to go 9 more. Yeah, so it looks like it's yeah, right now it's too far deep into it now to get out to get in. But I will say we know we had a Harry Potter here, we had a break here. There's enough space. There's like 38 something pips right there. I would say look for a base somewhere in this level here, right? In this level, right? Look for something in there, and I'd say there's probably another short trade in here, right? Another little Harry Potter down here. Um, and again, I don't know what it's going to look like, the base. I'm just going to draw it here, and that's like 7 pips. But 7 for, I don't know, 25 is sitting right there, right? Somewhere along these lines. Okay. The way to look at this is again, wait for it to come down to the 66.70. Look for some type of a basing level in here. It could look like this. It could look just completely flat across. It could look like this, where it's chopping back and forth. But look for that. And all this is just a parabolic retracement move. It's already used the top side entry, but again, will it be 2 to retrace it all the way back down? Yeah, I think so. I think by tomorrow morning we are back down over here. As far as this one goes. Okay. And again, could Jolts drive it? Yeah, Jolts could be the final factor that drives it down. So we'll see. I'll tell you right now, if Jolts, it's expected to be 9.74. Even if it's like 9.9, if it does nothing, if it stays the same, I think they're going to take that as some nice little dollar strength. Maybe it comes in lower, but ideally it's even if it comes in at 9.5 or 9.8, or I'm sorry, 9.5 or 9.6. That's lower than what the expectation was, but it's still 4 million jobs more. I don't think it changes the Fed raising their interest rates tomorrow. Okay. But if it is higher, then people are like, oh, maybe they're going to do it twice, right? Maybe they'll do it twice. So look for that one. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, kind of the same type of a pop, right? Midnight, boom, popped off. Now this one didn't give us the telltale sign like we normally like to see. This one kind of hit this like 10 o'clock time frame, and then it just stopped. It did nothing. It just went sideways, 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 and then popped. And again, kind of gave us the same top on there. A little bit harder to grab. It never pulled back up to that top piece. But I think at this point, right, we got to be looking at this one and say, hey, listen, this is quite a surge right now, right? We're pushing all the way back up again. We've gone through the 78. We can take this one off the side here. Can you get your head out of the way, please? Like you can go in crib. I don't care. The thing about this one, the top side, we know we're sitting right here right now, right around this 92. If you look at this level, this was an old kind of a break, right? At Harry Potter there. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits in. If I continue this across, right? We're above it right now. So again, it is officially broken and can't be used, right? So that one comes off, right? The next level from here. Let's say there's one here, but it's not the best one in the world. Are you just trying to talk so everybody can hear you? Yeah, you trying to talk? And even this one, look, very deep, halfway, all the way through. So, I'll drag these across, but I don't think either one of them is going to make that big of a difference. I would say that both of these are lower quality, right? I think both those are lower quality. I think if whatever it takes to kind of drive this further, whether it be the yen, and again, we were calling for yen pullbacks. Yeah, Kip is trying to take over. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Yeah, I mean, this right now is not really yen strength. This is just the retracement, the profit taking coming back in. I think the profit target probably comes in here. Maybe the 23 gets involved with it. When this does find buyers again, right? When we do find buyers again, I think it'll take a little bit to chip through this level, but I don't have a lot of confidence in either of these two levels. It looks like I would say the next potential target, or the talk up here, would be somewhere around here, right? Which would be up at 93. So I think overall we start again. It will pull back, but our next drive forward after the profit taking from this parabolic move, I think we're looking at 93. Euro dollar. Okay. All right. So euro dollar. So we talked about finding where kind of the near term base was in this one. The near term base, it's kind of in the level we were looking for a drop below this one. Again, it ended up going back up again, so it's kind of been a weird trail, right? At here, you can see that it went above the 23. Now we've pushed through down again. It's still using the 110 as far as levels. We were looking for a short, talking about kind of pushing this down to the 109.19 range. Um, the candles are weird. Let me pull this back and show you, right? So we're looking for a base, and we kind of got a base in here, but then we kind of did it again, and it's like, yeah, we're looking for, you know, a bit of a pullback, right? It kind of drove back up again, but looking at the way these candles are formed here, and I'll put it down. Whenever you see this, you're like, oh, there's a base there, but these ascending candles, that formation is kind of that's the ideal opportunity. So I would say that this is probably more the level. Again, it based in there, but this group here is what we're looking for. So right now, you're technically in the short right now. Um, it looks like this, and 1 to 3 is sitting right there. There's 2.99. So you're talking about 13. Actually, it's not 13, is it? Yeah, it's 13. 13 and 3 dead on is right there. So 3 for 39, right? Is what you're looking for. You're about halfway through. We're 4 minutes before that news. So this is one of those ones that if you want to move your stop loss, um, again, just to lock in 4 or 5 pips, right? Just in case the news goes crazy against you, right? Not that it couldn't gap past, but it's currencies. It's the euro dollar. It's the most traded thing in the world. So, um, again, lock it in, but it's kind of like yesterday. Lock it in. It's most likely going to be pushed further down with the news. And again, I think right now it's lining up the correct way there. Euro pound. All right, so Euro pound. We talked about a pop for news off here. It was already up there, and actually, you can see it drove up ahead before the news and then popped down. And we were hoping that it was going to be down here, but it wasn't. It just slowly ground higher, right? Now we're sitting at a reversal level. We can take this off, and you can see funny came right up, grabbed that level at 5 when the news came out, and that's what drove it right down. But this is Euro pound. There's not really enough movement in this one. Um, for news moves like that. So we're there until we get to 88.20. We're not really looking for much in this one. At this point, again, seeing this, you can see it hit it again, and drove it deeper. I think this level's probably gone. There's another little hiccup right here. Stop. Don't do it again. Waiting for 88.20. No. You can sit here and watch, and that's it. If you're going to start hitting everything, then you have to get down. Okay? He like wants to be up here, but then his ADHD kicks in. He wants to like unplug the microphone, unplug the headphones, kick the keyboard, you know. But he wants to sit here. I go to put him down, and he's like, no, no, no. He wants to sit on my lap. So, yeah, taking over in some bits. But again, 88.20 I think is where we look for the next short in this one, and again, use it as a proxy more than anything else. Euro yen. We talked about having a Harry Potter trade in here at 150. It did go a little bit higher, right? It has pushed up a little bit, and you can see there was a little bit of fake out here for the 23 Sixers, and it was an okay level. I would say that this is not the worst position here, but in looking at this and looking at the setup, once you see this here, you're like, okay, is this an area where we could go long? Yeah, you know what? There's a level of basing here. Um, but now once you say, listen, I've established an entry, but is it a trade that I want to take? You got to put your 1 to 3 on, right? You got to put your 1 to 3 on and say, okay, there's my level of risk. Do I have a clear sale until 1 to 3? Right? 1 to 3 is right there. So the question in this one is, there's a base in there, right? So if you're drawing this like this, you're saying, nope, I cannot get my 1 to 3 in. So you either got to be okay with saying, I'm going to take profit, right? You look at where the move happened from. I'm okay taking profit there, right? Which is a 1 to 2.4, right? 1 to 2.4. Or you're saying I'm going to take all the risk that there's no sellers in here. Okay, so you either got to be okay with that, taking your profit off here, or if you went for a 1 to 3, that's right there. Guess what? You're now almost at the point where you're stopped out, right? So again, ideally, this is a better short than it is a long, right? Because it's already pushed down. It's another hit of that level. Ideally, this is more of a short position here, right? And 1 to 3 is sitting right there, but right. But again, understand too that you could say, well, listen, I know sellers stepped in right here before. That's a 1 to 3, 2.3. So you want to go with the trend on the pullback, or you're going to play with the 23 on a level that was already kind of originally tested and pushed pretty deep. So i- ideally, I think down is more kind of what we're looking at. But if you would have said, I'm going to take it long, but I'm going to take my profit based off of the profit target of the green candle, you were good, right? Yep, 10 o'clock just kicked in. 1 to 3 is right there. Actually, 2.83 is right there. So it's getting close. All right, so let's see what this came in. The data came in as. Oh, there we go. There's our pending. I need some music. Like I need to cue up like a music thing. Oh, there you go. So look, I was close. I said, 9.6, right? 9.59, right? I said 9.5, 9.6. It's 9.59. So we missed a bunch a little bit. You can see that's pretty much out. Just click the last little bit. Ah, right, buds. Look at that. Drove up before the news, seen the pullback, right? Up, pullback. Almost like they knew. Almost like they knew. Yeah, look at that one. See, and that's why you have that there. But look at that. The drive straight down. Yep. So again, what is that? Oh, it's ready. Um, look how close that is. Look at that. There's some pipettes for you. There's some pipettes for you. So yeah, I think on this one, again, look for a breakdown here below 149.90. Again, look for a base in here just to confirm that that's where the base is. And it may actually be, it's probably right there. Maybe we'll take this one just a little bit lower, actually. There's 15, and then that only needs to go to there. Yeah. Look for the base down here at 149.90. I'd be looking for this to turn and kind of push back to the downside. A break back down to the 149.50-ish range. We talked about this one yesterday, so I don't need to really discuss it again. But pound dollar. Okay. Again, price drove down. There was nothing really over here. I guess this. I guess you could say, well, it's the old 61.8. It doesn't really matter. There's the pop back up again. So you can see it's the same sellers that are sitting. It's literally the same exact ones. The same sellers that were right here is what this one drove down to. Now, would we have taken this one? No. I mean, there's not really a confirming zone down there. This is again, it's just a wick down again. It shows that there was buyers there, but you know, yeah. At this point, I think again we haven't hit the 78, but I'm gonna pull it because it's pretty close. Um, again, profit target out. This one, if I continue it across, you can see we talked about this one yesterday morning, right? Through here. Um, again, that one is out. Let's pull this. Let's pull this. Let's go high to low because this is going to be the common draw right now. Hmm. Right now, if this is truly the bottom, if it rallies back up again, I think we got to look at that. How much space is that, though? Oh, that's not bad. It's only 13 pips. That's not horrible. It's confirmed twice, but it is barely pushed in there. And now it just, here, it's like, yes, it made sense, right? Here it made sense. It was confirmed in the overnight. And again, European session drop. So that all makes sense. Now, on top of that, now that this turned and confirmed, if it does rally back up again, it is now a 50% too. So you can lump that in there. So that's not a horrible short if we can get there. Yeah, we need this really to be like a hard stop, though. We don't want this to come up here and come lower, but I think right there, 125.10. Let's see what that one looks like. Not bad, not bad. All it does is go back to the 50 and then bring it back another 23. So, yeah, but we need that to be a hard stop here. Actually, look, this one's gonna break here, here. Yeah, that's fine. So let's pull that. That trade was out. This is the same. Look, if I bring this across, right, it's the same thing. Right? It was the old broken zone. It's like, okay, break it in the other direction. There's the base above. You're like, yup, it's going. There's your touch. There's your touch. So that's the short we're looking for. Um, start looking over here for this one. I hope the god comes back up again. That'd be great. But we may get a push down and then another weakness spot over here. This is what may happen. It may push down and then we pop off this level. 66. So here's your 3 o'clock open. So that's 75. That would be 115. Getting close. Getting close. We definitely need a reversal down though. So right now, this is the range. Oops. This is the range I'm looking at right now for news. We're sitting right in the middle right now. So the question is, here's the immediate response, right? Preset it up, popped. Will we continue to go back up with pound strength, dollar weakness? And then will the turn come in tomorrow? Or will we continue to deteriorate down with dollar strength in preparation for the raise to turn it here and go higher? Like, I don't think they're looking at this one and going, you know what? Everything's fixed. Like, we're not at that stage yet. All right, pound yen. So pound yen. Yesterday we talked about kind of finding the top in this one, looking for a reversal. We said maybe it was there, but look, 1, 2, 3, it's going to break, and it did. It went higher to that level. Could you have traded this? Not the ideal pattern, to be honest with you, right? If typically if this had stopped where the green candle was, then I would say, yep, you could have played reversal there. As far as the bottom goes, there's one, two, there's two, there's three. We're kind of basing it right now. There's probably a short trade coming back in here as well. Yesterday we talked about being bearish but not having the entry. Again, it's a Harry Potter. There's not really a base in here. If anything, I would say, there'll be people that are looking for a pullback in this one. Wherever it is, you can see. I'll stretch this out to make it look better, just so it looks like it's a bigger move. But right now, you can see there are buyers here right at the 23.6, and people will look at this and say, oh, that 23.6, buy it. There is something in there. If we turn and roll back up, I would say look for the level right here. And again, it's funny. I mark off the top of the candle there and the bottom of the body where these guys are all touching, and I've literally marked off the 50 to 61.8. So if we do see some type of a reversal now, I would say watch out for this. 71.52, right? Could be a trade. Not a very big risk level, right? You're talking about 18 pips in the pound yen. That's not that much. Question is, if we just continue to deteriorate down, do we still look at that? Maybe, maybe. It depends how far away we push away from it. So right now, again, yesterday we talked about having a Harry Potter coming through that level. It is at the 23. We should see some basing. If we can get some basing, great. If not, we got to wait for a pullback to come higher. I do think it pushes back down here, maybe into the 169.50-ish range. 169.50 would be right there. Ideally, I think that's probably where this one is heading. And it's going to run into kind of this, right? This kind of base right here. I like this. I like how you have all this straight up. I think that's probably where this is coming from. Yeah. So there we go. Dollar CAD. So again, we are talking about a reversal yesterday in there. It looks like this morning came in. Um, again, we can draw this to the very, very bottom. It's just a slight adjustment from yesterday. Unfortunately, it's funny. This is the exact flip. There was nothing really to turn this here, right? But if you look at this level, you can say, okay, is that the opportunity for a Harry Potter for breaks above? And the answer is yes. But looking for, are we going to use this level? Well, the near term basing is here. So there's your near term basing to it, the proximity of the break. There's your trade. So yes, it came up, it used it, it broke through the top. Like, okay, pull back. It's the same pattern we just drew where you have the sending things like this. So again, not necessarily surprising. Can we do anything with it right now? No. No, it's already way through. There's no sellers over here whatsoever. You can see it hiccup a little bit at 50. Kind of hit 61, came back, and then just drove through. The stopping point in this one, maybe a little bit of a hiccup here at the 78, but ideally, I don't think we really test this one. I don't think this one really slows down until 136.56. Again, nice little trade here. I missed this one. This was a 7:30. I was actually in the car with the boys. I knew that we had this, but I didn't know that this was in there. The 6:30 piece, I was getting them ready. So that would have been a nice one to take, but not surprising. Again, there's the original Harry Potter, but you're looking for the near term base. You could say, okay, maybe it's there. Great. Or you can say, hey, listen, There was a base just formed here. I'm going to use that base, right? And then once it breaks the top of this, I know that we're clear. There's your pullback. Drop, or I'm sorry, a pop, sideways movement, pulled back to the level of basing, and then took off. So nice Harry Potter. I didn't catch it. It's 50 pips. It's a nice move. I hope some of you guys grabbed that one out there. But that was pretty decent. So, and rallying. But 136.56. Actually, if you want to be a little conservative, um, this may cause some problems, but probably not tons. But 136.40. Get you another 20 pips on it. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, pretty funny. There's actually a trade setup in this one. Right there. Again, we were looking for a top in there. We were looking to see if there was any base to drop this one down. It didn't. It went down and came back up. Didn't give it to us. Right. So we were looking for a short there, but no entry. Again, 1, 2. You could say, I mean, really 1, 2, 3. This is expected to break. It did. Right. And it pushed through and then put a new top in the overnight. Again, you adjust this one here. You could use that if you really wanted to. Ideally on this one, so you could use just this little bit here. Very, very small. And again, you can see it worked just fine had you used it. Most people are going to use a little bit bigger of one and probably would have put it there. Right? You drop it down to a 15 and then use the top of the green and the bottom of the red. And you can see you have the sellers coming off of it right here. Right? And it touched. I don't know if this one is out or not. This one's tiny. It's only like 6.5 pips. 1 to 3 is right there. There's 3.02. So you can see it is officially out. Yeah, nice little push up. Look, the 945 candle drove straight back up into that zone. So, yeah, this one's over. I can't. There's nothing I can do about this one. But you know what? Let's run this from top to bottom and see. Are we going to get any additional help in here? So, yeah, probably right there. That's what I was wondering. Let's say that this is your target right now on shorts. There's probably going to be a hiccup right there. If you're short and you're going to let this run, I think you put there's profit target 1, there's profit target 2. Okay, there's your 2 profit targets. If you did just a straight 1 to 3, you're already out. But right there is ideally where you're supposed to put the profit target at 89.62. Second one, obviously some tests coming in. You got to break through that, but would be 89.49. So target 2 gives you an extra 12 pips. Nothing super exciting. Dollar yen. Any surprise in this one? No. We were looking for 137. It got pretty close. 2 o'clock this morning, we got within 13 pips. And then what did it do? It started the base. And it pushed up right before news. Whether you got in or not, questionable. Here at 8:30, 9. Yeah, 9 o'clock is when it started to turn. There's your 9:30. There's your 10, and it already started to push to the downside. So you may or may not have gotten into that one. Again, it's doing exactly what it should do right now. It should be pushing to the downside. So, yep. Where's the one stops? Probably here. You can see there's a level of basing right there. And it's a 23. So, dealer right now, that's not a horrible top. Because look, we got this right here too. A little bit of drama here. Friday to Sunday. The Sunday night gap is right here. Right? And it took off. I don't know when it breaks through that. I'd like to see if it comes down and does any base or if it bounces off of it. It absolutely could bounce. I mean, it's confirmed that it's a 23.6 right now, so people will be looking for that. They'll be taking profit here at 136.70, right? But I think if we can get through this bottom side, I think we have room to run this back down. It's going to depend on how long this dollar weakness lasts. And he's out. Crypto back at 28. 105. That one spiked. So yeah, come on, let's check this one out. Look at that one. Nice little acceleration. 9:30, and the 10 o'clock news came out right here. So yesterday we talked about getting back down to 74.16. We were sitting here yesterday. You can see it drop down, and again, whoops. I'm just trying to drag it across so you guys can see. There's our European Open at 3 o'clock. So target is now hit, and we mentioned there's another level down a little bit lower right here. We actually another Harry Potter drawn, so if we do get some basing up here, maybe this gives us the ability to go lower, but we're breaking through 73. Overall, the next push down would be 71.15 is what we were looking for, which would be right there. Yeah, target's hit. It's out at 10 o'clock. We may see a little bit of a retracement, but for right now, I think we're okay with it. Had you taken this one short, it took a little bit longer than expected. As I said yesterday, we were talking about getting in here. Maybe you weren't excited about your profit coming back up at the same level we used before. The same 23.6 is where this whole move started today. So that's a nice move. 250 down is good. Natural gas. Again, nice little rally up till 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8, 8:30. And again, we were playing with this 50 number right now. We're kind of dinging around it. So we talked about 229 being the overall target. We hit that yesterday at about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then based off of it. So it's good. It's lower now. Obviously, we have the full retracement through. We're now below where we started the week. Actually, last week. This was that big gap from last week. Let's see. So we had the 61.8, but look, it was an immediate push here. Nice trade. Broke it a little bit low. Hit it again. Hit it again. Hit it again. I really don't know that we can do much until 211. 212. 212 is where the gap is. So yeah, I'd say right now 212 is the target for this one. Give us another day, and I think we can get back down there. So yeah, this one's on its move, but unfortunately, it's a big move in price. We don't want to be selling it right now. And again, a lot of buying coming in right around 216. So yeah. Gold. Are we surprised that gold went up and touched two? No, because this is considered it's red. So people are like, oh, look at that, it's working. Woo. So there's your weakness. It should roll and turn back down. Again, I don't think this changes anything with the Fed. But there was target one yesterday. We hit it at 10. Target two, you can see we hit it at 3 o'clock yesterday. 79 or 1979. So if I remove that, you guys can see that it flirted with that and then obviously touched it right here. So that is out. If it didn't, it touched it here. At this point, I would say looking for that to push back down. It looks like we will have buyers stepping in approximately there. 1987. We're back at that 1987 time frame. So yeah, I mean, I think they still raise interest rates. The fight is not done. Jobs is helping, but there are many other factors out there that are going to be causing problems. So I don't think jobs is the main driving factor as it used to be. So again, look for a parabolic move back to the down. I mean, again, parabolic move. Look for the retracement back to the downside. Silver should look the same. Yeah, silver didn't even make it back to 25. And interesting enough on this one. Let's pull this. Let's take this from there down. This level right here. And it happens to be right at 25. Right? A little bit of confirmation right at 25. So there you go. We'll see. Right? I think that's a decent level. Now, if we can break through the top side, we are in a racetrack scenario here. So if we do break a 25.06 and we can get a pullback, there is probably a trade long on this one too. But again, what did silver do? Silver drove down before the news to pop. Gold, a little bit riskier, but again, went down and then at 9:30, again, we started to do a little bit of a pop, but it drove price down before the news. So you can see in the overnight what happened. Right? 3 o'clock is right here. We drove up, we pulled back, and news happened there. So again, pull back before the news to lead the push up. And again, 2000 would have been your target. So again, kind of telltale. And again, I think tomorrow is going to be the same exact way. We'll see how that one rolls. Let's see what we got here. All right. So funny. That's great data, right? Jobs, right? VIX is like, oh crap, right? But you look at this, you're like, wait a second, this is good, right? Isn't this causing, job inflation, right? Is it causing bad things? And again, it's bringing the dollar down, but yet everything's getting worse over here. So, yeah. So look at the base. And again, something like Jolt's 30 minutes after, good opportunity today, not so much. 8:30, 9. Yeah. Here, hold on. Look, literally, they were just waiting for the news. Look, is there anything tested over here? Nope. Right. 8:30, 8:15, 9, 9:15 was green. Could you have said that there was a level there that's tested? Sure, you could have. We didn't quite get to it. And then 9:30, look, 9:45, and then 10 o'clock data came here. So again, they already kind of had the preconceived notion. So looks like right now this one's stopping. And again, remember for opening print, because it's such a volatile time frame. Having something like Jolt's data 30 minutes afterwards is typically not ideal. You can see the price was already going to move down. It was already on its way, and then the data came out here, but they were already forcing it down. There was just no pullback at the open, so nothing you can do. I think look for 41.36 today. NQ, yeah, the 9:30 was there. So not actually this one. You could have said, "Hey, listen, there's the overnight. There's the confirmation of it." You could have used that one, or you could have said, "Hey, listen, here's a 7:15, and here's the confirmation here." Either one would have worked. It didn't matter which one you took. And then 9:30 is this red candle. So either one, I'll take the farther one because it's more risk involved. It doesn't matter. I can tell you right now, they're both out. But here's the bigger level of risk, and 1 to 3 was right there. So you were out on that's 3.28. 1 to 3 is right there. So you were out rather quickly. If I'd used the lower one, even with the bigger risk level, it doesn't matter. You're out either way. So it looks like NQ actually did have one at the open, right? And again, there's nothing really confirmed down. It was a downturn in the overnight. So yeah, so it looks like we're 1 for 2. Problem with this one is this is higher. So no, there was nothing tested in this one. 9:15 was green. It did go back. You could have traded this one and said, hey, listen, there's a level of basing there. It wasn't tested, right? But you were looking for a break. Yeah, you were looking for the break. So you could have traded this one, not an opening print rules because it was not confirmed. This one actually higher, so there was nothing in there. The 9:15 is where the confirmation came, but kind of the same thing. Um, there's your 9:30, your 9:45, 10 o'clock was already over here, so that data came out and straight to the downside. And looks like we're in profit target now, but it looks like we want to drop even farther. Um, it looks like it's slicing through. It looks like the hiccup on this one will be here. Looks like we could have another short position here. Looks like we're looking for that one. But yeah, I love days like this. Open straight down. The news came out here, and technically the news is, you know, it's funny. This is red. There's a missed expectation on this. This is job openings, but the reality is there's still only about 5.5 million people looking, so it's still way too high over what it should be, right? So yes, it's better, but I guess it shows that we're kind of going into a recession or kind of like going that route. But look at the yen over here now, right? Everything is magically evened out, right? We had all that dollar strength, and then the news came out, and now it's all the dollar weakness, except dollar cat. We're also had the same thing. Look, definite level of basing right there. 9:15 was green. 9:30 was straight down. 9:45 was down, and 10 o'clock news came out over here. So it's kind of like they knew, right? Kind of like they knew. This one has actually been breached, but there's probably a base right here. Let's go down. Let's move the level here. Yeah, see, look at this one right here, the 50. Again, it's an old. I mean, I guess you could have Harry Pottered it. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your drop. There's your a drop. There's your bait. I mean, you could have done this one. You could have done this drop, base, and pullback. So yeah, Harry Potter either way. Looking for the racetrack over here. So yeah, poor Russell. And again, Russell's getting smoked. Um, I guess they're looking at the jobs thing, taking that as like super bad, but I don't know. It's not bad for the dollar. I think they're still raising. So and look, good news. Factory orders rise, right? So there was actually some good data out there, but people are looking at this and be like, oh my God, it's not actually that bad. It's not as bad as this. I don't think this is justified. Factory orders are up, right? Factory orders are up, and yet we're seeing, right, the Dow go straight down, right? It just shows you the irrational fear of negativity, right? How powerful that is, right? Like the dark side is more powerful than the light side, right? Great earnings. Whoop. Potential bank failure heard by somebody in a locker room. Straight down, right? So, yeah, funny how that worked out. What's Apple doing? Yeah, Apple hitting them. And again, look, you had trouble there. There was a confirmation in. It drove right up at the open and then boom, straight down, right? Tesla. Tesla actually punched higher. Yeah, I was looking for a level actually, right? This one had been a mirror, so I was looking for higher. Actually, 1, 2, 3. We expected higher. It looks like it's using that level. Yeah. So, yeah. Poor Russell. Poor Russell. Yeah, exactly, Nero, right? Yeah. Oh my God. There's only, oh my God, this is horrible. There's only 9.6 million job openings right now. How many people are trying to go for those jobs? 5, right? With separations, 3.9 million people changed little, right? That's how much, look, and discharges. So 4 million people quit, 1.8 million got released. Yeah. Over the month, the numbers of hires and total separations were little changed. 6.1 to 5.9. Yeah. Yeah, we expected to see this last month and we didn't get it. I was kind of surprised. So, yeah, is what it is. All right, that's it for today. Let's go ahead and do our drawings. Again, we know. Here, I'll give you a little bit of time right now. Give that till 7. Just know we got a lot coming. Again, unemployment. This employment change, is it going to be a big mover tomorrow? It probably is going to set the morning kind of print off tomorrow. Because again, ISM services also a big deal. Again, layoffs are we going to start seeing in services? We know people are spending less money, but thus far they're still going out and using services. It's just the goods they're not purchasing. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a morning rush with these two big news, and then everybody's going to look at FOMC. So yeah, tomorrow should be a crazy day. Again, some highlights. Are they going to do 0.25 and 0.25? Is it going to be 0.25, but people barely voted for it? And then the question is to be if they don't do it or if they barely did it, what do we don't know? Like, is there like you know, has the seed been planted for negativity in the markets that recession and gloom and doom are coming? As well as, I don't know if you guys saw it or have seen it. Um, AOC is not running for reelection. It seems there was a lot of articles out that the Democrats are in trouble, right? That there are like 10 seats that are potentials with a high probability of flipping that would give Republicans control of um, the Senate again. And now there seems to be an exodus of people not running for reelection that were not part of that 10. Like AOC, Cardin in Maryland, who's been there for like 3 times, he's retiring. He's not going to run. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like are, are the Democrats expecting to lose it, and that's why they're all jumping off, or what? I don't know. Maybe AOC's running for president. Who knows? Maybe that's what she's doing. Maybe she's like, I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to run for president. Who knows? Who knows? All right, let's go ahead and do this drawing. All right, closing it down. Let's see. The winner of today's drawing, again, no major outliers out here. Winner of today's drawing is Debbie. Wow, this is Debbie Marina Debbie. Jesus, girls, what are you doing? Man, guys, the girls have the hacks in this week, right? Wow. They're just like, hey, I'll win it today. You win it tomorrow. Let's keep the boys out of here, right? Look at that. Look at that. Sticking it to the men this week, right? Actually, from Friday too, Debbie. You won like twice. You were going for 2 or 3 last week on Friday or something like that, right? Then you go for two, and then you lost number three, and then I think Ernest won that one, and then you won, or Marina won, and then you won. Yeah, we're just trading it back and forth. Dominant in the last 5 days. So, all right, I'm out of here. Again, a lot of trading activity going on the next 24 hours. So again, make sure those stops are in. Look for the pre-market movement. Look what happens the hour, half hour to hour and a half before the news. It tends to show you where the price is going to move. Is it whether puts it on sale or makes it over expensive for a short? It's there time and time and again. It did it every single one of them today. We saw all that dollar strength. We started in time for some bad news, and then boom, smack and reversal right away. So, all right. With that, I'm out of here. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Look for this. Look for these trades. Again, 8:15. That can be a big one. That will probably set off the opening print tomorrow, followed by ISM and Fed funds. I'll see you then. Take care.